Hi, and thank you for watching this PARCC training video. This is intended for all PARCC test administrators. As you have seen, there are 3 test administrators per regular ed classroom, and then 4 test administrators per special ed PARCC testing classroom. And this is intended for all of you to listen to. There are no lead administrators, there are no proctors / supervisors. All of you are conducting the same role. And so you all need this important information. The obvious big first difference between PARCC testing and other test proctoring assignments you've had in the past is the kids are going to have a Chromebook, and I will talk specifically about some of the proctoring issues that might bring up a little bit later in this video. We'll just start by taking a quick overview look at PARCC in general. We have 3 different test dates that we're going to be talking about in over the course of the next few weeks, but the only test that this training relates to or is specific to is this March 3rd PBA for the ELA 9 PARCC test. So next Tuesday, March 3rd, and that's what your assignment is based on. So we're going to focus on that. The students will be taking 3 different units of ELA 9 tests on that day, and you have a copy of this schedule, of this testing schedule in your Google Drive, and this just breaks down the times that we will be testing the students. The one thing that I would emphasize here is, there is going to be some moving around in the morning, students getting to the rooms. There's some things that you're going to have to pass out that we'll talk about here, and there are instructions that you'll have to read to the students. The one thing that I'm asking is that no testing room starts the first unit of testing before 8:15. Even if your room seems like you're ready to go, I don't want any tests to start before 8:15, and we'll talk about what happens what the process is that starts a test. Before the PARCC test day, there's just a couple of things that you need to do, and one of them is by Wednesday morning, I shouldn't say tomorrow, you may be watching this on Thursday or Friday, but by Wednesday morning, the 25th, you will have received your PARCC Test Administrator Manual, which is really nothing more than the script that you will read from when we are testing the students. I ask that you do go through that prior to the testing on Tuesday. And then the second thing you need to know is where you need to be on Tuesday morning, March 3rd. And if you look at our spreadsheet, you see that you are assigned by classrooms, and some of you are highlighted and some of you are not. If you are highlighted, you need to report to, if you're regular ed, you need to report to room 2225. If you are not highlighted, you need to report to your assigned testing room to begin preparing the room, and we'll talk about what that entails, and to begin checking students in. If you are in special ed testing, if you are highlighted, you should report to room 0200. So all PARCC special ed testing will be taking place down in the math floor, down in the bottom floor. On the testing day, in the test headquarters, so 2225 for regular ed, 0200 for special ed. Those of you that come there, and I would like for you to be there by 7:30 a.m., those of you that come there, you'll get some last minute information, and you'll also get a folder with the materials that you need for testing. And the materials are going to include the student testing tickets, which we'll talk a little bit about what you need to use those for. Also scratch paper for the students, we'll talk a little bit about what that's for, and also the testing room seal codes, and we'll talk about how you use those in a minute here. But that's the one of the reasons we need one person to come to testing headquarters to get those materials. Now I will tell you that through the course of the morning, please do stop by, when you rotate out of the room, do stop by testing headquarters, as we'll have some coffee and some light breakfast available in there for the people who come at 7:30, but also for the other proctors to come maybe during an initial break during that first test. On the actual testing day itself, if you are not highlighted, we need you to go to the classroom and get that classroom ready. And what that means is get the classroom ready by setting up the desks, ideally using this 5x5 model. If there are more than 25 desks in the room, you are free to move those other desks into the hall, and we can put those back at the end of the testing day. If there's room for them to stay in the room, that's fine. And you will also be responsible for checking in students. If you do not know the students, you should ask them for their ID to make sure that they are on your roster and to check them in as they're coming in. We would like for the students to be arranged alphabetically, so you're setting them up 5 by 5, and you should use kind of this snaking you see on the diagram over here, this snaking motion as you seat the students up one row and back down the other. When you have everybody in the room and they are in their seats and you have taken attendance, you can pass out the testing tickets that are in the folder. Make sure that every student has their testing ticket. Their name should be on it. This is very important because every student's login is specific to their name. So you'll see in the script, every time you start a new unit, it asks you to ask the students if they have the appropriate testing ticket. So make sure that they're constantly checking that. When you are prepared to start having the students use the Chromebooks, the first thing, kind of, if I could bold and highlight and underline what I'm about to say, I would. They do not and should not log into the Chromebooks. They should not log into the Chromebooks. Instead, they should navigate to the bottom left-hand side on the home screen of the Chromebook, and there is a little menu option down there that simply says Apps. If they click on that, they will see Test Nav. They will click on that. Now, the first time they do this, they will have to choose Illinois. So there's a drop-down menu. It asks them which test they're taking. Have them choose Illinois, click Continue, and then that will bring them to the screen that you're seeing here, the sign-in screen. And for that sign-in screen, it is not their district login. It is the sign-in that they will have on their individual student testing ticket. So proctors, walk around the room. This is why we want all 3 of you in the room at the start and end of any test. So walk around the room, make sure that they're getting logged in, make sure they're using the appropriate login from their student testing ticket. From there, please use the script and follow the script verbatim. There are things in there that we have to conduct. Students will have headphones with them. If not, you will have been provided headphones to give to them. One part of the script has them do an audio check, and we need to do this each time. So please follow the script and give them each prompt before we start each of the 3 units of the tests. When you are actually ready to start the tests, the tests have to be opened for the students. And this is where the seal codes that will be a part of your testing materials come in. Imagine the 3 units of the tests all sealed like this image that you see here, but obviously we're taking these tests online. So there's no pencil to run through the taped seal. We have to open the testing units using a seal code. And so make sure that you are writing the seal code for the test that they're going to take. They are taking 3 units. The first unit is literary analysis. The second unit is research simulation. And the third unit is narrative writing. We should be taking them in that order. They are timed differently, so be sure that you're putting the correct seal code on the board for the correct test. When you start a test, please note the time. Please note the end time and also a 10-minute warning time. In addition, in your script, and I will talk about this on Tuesday morning with the proctors that come to the meeting, but we'll want to write logout directions on the board because students may finish at various times, and if a student is done and they indicate to you that they are done, we can prompt them to follow the logout directions that we will have written on the board, and they can log out of that test early. We don't want to encourage them to do that, but if they want to, they can. All of the students will need the logout directions for each of the unit tests, so they will need to log out at the end of each unit. So during the PARCC testing, this is pretty typical. What we are expecting from you as proctors is to walk around and monitor the students. Please don't read or grade or be on the computer. And also, please don't bring laptops or Chromebooks. We don't want, we are going to be using the Wi-Fi specifically for the testing, so let's not drain the Wi-Fi in other areas. Do not help students with test questions. Do not help them with navigation. Have 2 people in the room at all times. And remember to write all of the directions on the board that we're asking you to. And if you have to do any tech troubleshooting, which is possible if a student's Chromebook fails, if it shuts down, if it freezes up, instead of having panic moments, what we're going to do is we'll have one computer in the room open to a Google spreadsheet. So think of the teacher station. This should be open. And we'll give you a link to this, and we'll also provide a URL to this link. It's just a spreadsheet that you will enter really just the first bit of information: the time, what room number you're in, the name of the student, and what problem that student is encountering with their Chromebook, what the tech problem is. IT will have this open and we'll be monitoring it all day, and we will either resolve it remotely, or if we have to, we'll come in and swap out that Chromebook. But if you have technical issues, they're all going to be submitted using this Google Sheet that we'll be able to monitor from the test headquarters and take care of the issues without somebody having to run in maybe with a radio on and disrupt the entire testing room. Just a couple of things that I'll go back and just emphasize. When you are in this part of the test, when the students are taking the test, the script will prompt you, but just a reminder, please do give the students their 10-minute warning, and do have those start time, stop time posted on the board, and have those logout directions, and they're the same for each unit, so you could just put those up once and leave them up for the day. I want to say thank you for helping us out with administering these state-mandated PARCC tests. This is the only test that we will do in this fashion, where we're using multiple classrooms and multiple proctors. So thank you for your help, and thank you for helping provide the students with a suitable testing environment. Thanks. If you have any questions, please email me or stop by, and we can talk about specific questions.